Hi, welcome back. And this time we're going to talk a little bit about Atemi, and in particular Atemi in Aikido. Normally what we consider Atemi is a strike, right? Many people will say Atemi is strike. But in Aikido it's not only a strike, there are many more things, many more functions of Atemi, or of movements which we would call Atemi. And it doesn't have necessarily to be a physical strike. So we'll go through different examples today, in today's video. I will explain you what is the function, why we do it, and what are the different approaches and ways of doing Atemis. So the first function and way of doing Atemi is the very basic one. It's a physical strike, a physical hit. And this we can have many examples of how to do it or when to apply it. But I would like to show it based on a Jodori technique, where Sandra will just do ski towards my chest. And when I want to do a technique, a Jodori technique, I will move to the back and I will strike to the ribs here to the side. And actually what you can see here, as I strike, it's kind of loosening up Sandra's body. So if she is tensed in the attack and goes in, it would be maybe difficult to move her around to do a technique. But as I do this Atemi, at the same time it's loosening up her body so that when I can enter, take her balance, and finish with a projection. Another function of the Atemi is also to occupy uke's other hand when we do a technique starting with a contact with one hand, with one arm. We don't want to be hit by the other arm, so we will try to occupy the other arm. So for this one, let's take, for example, a Yokomen Uchi attack. And if I go for a Shihonage or Kategeshi technique and I just enter on this arm, if I focus directly on this arm, the one which is attacking, Sandra could strike me with the other one. Right, her other arm is free. So as I receive this Yokomen Uchi attack, I will connect here with the other hand on the center line. This is also a kind of Atemi. And if she doesn't protect herself, if she doesn't raise the hand, I can hit her. If she does, I can occupy her arm, her other hand, so she cannot hit me when I change the movement to take, for example, the Shihonage. Moving on with the different applications of Atemi in Aikido, we've seen that it can be used to occupy the other hand of the uke so that we don't get hit while we do our technique. But it can also be used to occupy the space, to fill in the space. So if we look at Katate Dori Kaiten Nage, for example, in the Uchimawari version, as I open up here, I will occupy the other hand and stretch the uke to get the balance of uke with this movement. And then before I enter underneath, because as I enter, if I give in, Sandra could reach me with the other hand, she could come back and strike me with the other hand. So after this opening, as I enter, I will still occupy the space here, so I can do an Atemi on the side of the ribs before entering. And then there is another Atemi that connects into the center line again. So I continue the movement with the hand. It's again a kind of Atemi where I connect before moving into the Kaiten Nage technique. Another nice example of an Atemi that is connecting into the center line and taking the balance of uke is with the technique Katate Dori Ikkyo. So again, as I move to the side, I cut, and then I do an Atemi here, but I don't go, in this situation, I don't want to go straight towards the face. I mean, it's a nice one, it occupies the hand, it protects me. But I can do even more here, because if I raise bottom up, if I go bottom up with my hand, I can connect to the center line, follow the center line, and you can see that it's an Atemi that takes balance of the uke in this situation here. So either I can, if Sandra doesn't react, I can strike her, or if she does react and protects her face with her hand, I will connect into her center line and I can stretch her here and take her balance. Now we've come to the point where Sandra is getting a bit heavier weapons and I'm getting less physical doing the Atemi. So it goes the opposite ways, but it's very interesting actually. Because if Sandra decides to attack me, for example, with this baseball bat, so if I do nothing, of course, I will get hit. I can try to enter and block the movement, take the balance and do some other technique. But I can also use the kind of Atemi which is more on an energetic level than really a physical contact. I move towards her face, towards her eyes. And as you can see, people usually have the instinct of protecting their eyes. So if I'm at the right timing, if I'm not too late, if I start at the same moment as she starts her attack, I can actually stop this attack, or at least make it less intense, by doing a kind of energetic Atemi, moving towards the face, towards the eyes, connecting into the center line in a way, with filling in the space, but without being really physical on a strike. And another thing that is interesting with this approach is that I can actually fill in the space with Atemi and then give in again, kind of, and you will see what happens when I do it. So these are a few of the ways we use Atemi in Aikido. So as you can see, Atemi, it looks like a strike, but it's not always a strike. Doesn't always have to have this physical contact. It occupies attention, it occupies space, it gives us some time to change the way we grab the wrist, we hold the wrist or the arm or do something else, move around the uke, not letting uke counter-attack at this moment. This is the main use of Atemi, and for this it doesn't really have to be a physical strike. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked this demonstration and the few movements we have shown together. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel to see more of this kind of videos. Hit the like button and see you soon again.